Hello there and welcome. Today I want to do a little short video about a new feature that I just got in my Jira Service Management, which allows you now to add views to your queues. So let's jump into Jira and I will show you what I mean. So here we are now in my JSM demo project in my Jira Service Management setup, and as you can see I have views turned on here. So if you don't know what the views are, maybe we should start with that one first. So if you go to your project settings and you go to features, and the first one that you will have is views. And if you turn that one on, you can now have both a board view and a calendar view. So if we go back to the demo project here and we click on views, you can see that we have a board view and we have a calendar view here. So we can actually work with these two views. And this is great, but what we had before was that we only had one. So we basically had everything coming in at the same time. And then you could, of course, configure the views a little bit, and you can also do some customization here. But it was a little bit difficult if you had a lot of queues, and if you had a lot of views, then this one was not very useful because there was too much in there. So what has been released now is if you go to your queues here, and you will now say that for each of these queues that we have here, you will have list up here, and you have a plus sign. This one will allow you now to create a board and a calendar for that specific queue. And this is pretty awesome. So if I now go to, let's take the all open here, and I click and I add a board here. Now, not only will I get a board here, but I will actually get some new cool settings here. If I edit queue, you will now see that we have the general settings here, which will actually give you the filters and how things will actually be fetched. And then you have the columns, which tell you which columns you will have. But once you activated the board view here, you will actually get the same thing that you are used to having on the regular boards, or kind of. There are a few things that are missing still. But you have your sub filter here. You can select the time frame for how long completed issues should be shown in the last column. You have your column setups here, so you can create the different board columns for it. You have your swim lanes if you want to assign that one. You have your quick filters, so now you have queues, and now you can add also quick filters to them. You have your, let's just add some priorities, for example, so we can have some colors here. And then you can also add additional fields if you want, and then column here if you want. So once we turn this one on and we go to the board, you will now see that I have now, let me just close this one so it shows a little bit more. I now have color coordinated here based on the priority that I have. And if I want, I can even group them here now then by request type, for example. And then I can have IT help and incidents here separated. And this one you can now then, you can rename them and call them different things. You can move them around so you can have your own views. And let's add a calendar here as well. So by default, you don't have a lot of things here. But if you add to one of these tickets, if you had some kind of dates to it, I don't know if I have any due date perhaps, tomorrow, will that do it? Let's check. There you go. Now it will actually show up. So you can actually even plan your work. So you can set a due date when you want it to actually be done or set up. And all of this will be possible now then in all of the queues here. So if I want to have, now I have this one for all open. If I go to assign to me, I can actually add more of the same here. And I can have different columns for it, for example, or different configuration for each of the queues. This is something that I think is pretty awesome. So I just want to do a little quick video for it and show you how quickly you can actually add these things, and also how you configure them, because it was a little bit unclear where do I actually configure these things. So let me just check to see if we got, yeah, we even get new for the calendar here, so we can have start date and due date, and you can add other fields if you want. If there are other fields that you have created for start date and end date, or any other timed date that you want to use, you can use custom ones as well. So I don't know how you feel about this one, but I think this was a pretty awesome setup actually. And if you agree, give a like. If you don't agree, then leave a comment for me so I can see what your objections are. But that was all I had for this video. So I hope that you found it useful, even though it was a little bit shorter than I usually make them. And as always, I hope that you all have a great day and awesome week.